Hello, and welcome. Good morning. I'm so grateful to be here and I'm happy to see you. So, today we are here for a discussion around creating loving boundaries. And this live discussion is aimed at women who wish to embrace more of their the soulful element. So, today, going through this live, I want to have a certain way of discussing this that is going to be valuable for all of you who are going to be watching or listening this video to this video. So, first of all, the video is a total of 30 minutes. So I'm gonna be here live with you guys for 30 minutes. In those 30 minutes, I'm gonna share first of all a story about one of my clients and something that happened, but something that basically happens to a lot of people, a lot of women. Anyway, then after that, we will focus on two tips. So tips that can help to shift if this is happening to you or if you have difficulties with creating loving boundaries. Then I'll finish with a practice of a modality. Today's modality that I chose is going to be EFT tapping. So I'll go over that in a minute. Then after that, I'll talk to you about the Soulful Wellness community, as I'm going to be totally honest and frank with you from the beginning here. This video is also in order to see if you will be interested in joining the Soulful Wellness community. But I'll talk to you a little bit more about that at the end. So stay tuned for the main bit, which you're going to get a lot of value from anyway. And then I will make time for a Q&A. So if you have any questions, if there's anything that you feel you haven't understood completely, you can always ask me again. Now, this is live, but if you are listening to this on the replay, make sure to leave comments, to leave likes, and to follow the page to see all the other events that are going to be happening over this month and the next month. So let's start. So today I want to talk to you about creating loving boundaries. Coming from um, uh, a background that is from the African culture, but also having lived most of my life around people from different communities, I have been able to witness, and also I've been told by different discussions that I've had with women from different cultures, telling me about how creating loving boundaries for themselves has been a difficulty. Most of the time, this has come from the upbringing or the cultural aspect or traditional aspect that they've been born into. Whereas you have to be kind and you have to always be of help to others and care for others. There is a focus on what we can do for others, but there is not much of a focus on what we should be doing for ourselves. And what happens in this narrative often that the following so I was session with a client, and she explained to me that unfortunately she wasn't meeting her need with her boyfriend at the time. So as she wasn't meeting a need with her boyfriend at the time, she came to the conclusion that he was not good for her, to be honest with you. So when she came to this conclusion, she made the commitment to herself to break up this relationship and to find maybe a more purposeful relationship and to be with someone who would respect her, give her love, and really help her. Help her to be fulfilled in a relationship. But what kept happening is that she kept going back to him. She kept going back to him even though she made the commitment. So she made it over. This happened over quite a few years, actually. So um, that was nothing that was really quick. It happened about 2 years or 3 years or even more. But basically, as she was going back all the time, I then started to ask her questions, as in what it is that she was looking for in that relationship that she felt she wasn't getting when she was by herself, basically. And then that's when she discovered she of you need to love other people, you need to care for other people. So she's been in the give aspect of her life, but she hasn't been taught how to receive. She hadn't been taught that she also needed to fulfill her own needs. And this came as a real shock to her because the narrative she developed was, I am not good enough, and therefore I'm not receiving the love I give. Where actually the aspect was never around that. There's two things here that really jump out of this story. First of all, the partner, the ex-partner, was himself dealing with his own issues. And the reason why I'm saying that is because someone who is hurt, someone who's been, who hasn't been shown or who hasn't been taught or even hasn't made the commitment to develop themselves into a loving person and to actually contribute to a relationship are going through their own things. So that's one thing. So you can't expect love and appreciation from someone who doesn't understand that. That's one. And then second, because she was in lack of this loving herself, this lack of self-love and this lack of self-worth, she automatically saw herself as less than. Therefore, she could only see her worth in giving to him or attending to his needs. And all of this created a, a narrative for her where she not only felt depressed, she felt unworthy, unloved, but also I think it really created a shock in her system. So it came to a point where in the story, as we go into the story, it came to a point where when um, when she now decided to not be with him anymore, she once again went back. But this time, when she went back, he asked her for a commitment. He asked her for a commitment himself, but on his side was unwilling to do anything to support her in her journey. So not only she was feeling all alone, not only she was feeling really disarmed, but also she was now going to give even more. At that time, I think that's when she realized that no matter how much she gave, no matter all the things she was willing to do for him, she was never ever gonna have the reciprocation coming from him, and also the love that she was expecting. And this is where we come back about creating loving boundaries for yourself. So when we are creating loving boundaries for ourselves, what are we doing? We are looking at our needs. We're looking to see that our needs are met, and then we can meet other people's needs. We're also looking at um, our truth. So, what it is that we desire deeper than the need. So, there's always the need, as in, I want this or I need this. But behind the need, there's also this whole plethora um, of stories where our needs were not fulfilled since we were in our childhood until we came to an adult. We became an adult, and this is created a full lineage of um, needs that haven't been met, and then beliefs that are created of not being worthy, or not being able to love oneself, or not being enough. So I want to give you two tips if that is the case for you, or if you know someone that is in this situation. And those two tips are the following. First of all, there are visualization that you can do where you energetically cut the cords that are around between you and that person that you want to release. So that person that you want to let go of. And how you do this is that you visualize them being with you, and you feeling neutral emotion, if anything, happiness for that person feeling happiness towards you as well. No resentment in this visualization. This visualization is about the positive aspect of a relationship between two people. So remember, here the example is about my client with her ex-boyfriend. But if you were to do it with a parent, a family member, a friend, it will be the same way of doing it. So what you do, you visualize the person in a happy state, in a fulfilled state, yourself as well. And then you visualize, you imagine that there is a cord between you and that person. And that cord needs cutting. So that cord can be in any shape or form that you desire. And you're going to take a tool. So it could be a scissors, it could be a knife, it could be anything, visually, yeah, to cut this cord. Once you've done that, what you're going to do is wish this person the best in their life and let them go. So this is a visualization that you can do several times, and that's going to help you to release that attachment that you have, that energetic attachment that you have with this person. So that's the first tip. Second tip is going to be about forgiveness. The reason why I'm talking about forgiveness here is because of the guilt you would have had if you were in this situation, the guilt that someone can keep is what is going to fuel those beliefs that you've created. And once you give fuel to those beliefs, what happens? You lose that vision of yourself. That is the better vision, basically. So in doing the forgiveness, what we're going to focus on is focusing on yourself. First is forgiving that the situation happened. So forgiving that you've met this person, and by meeting this person, unfortunately, the relationship didn't work. You didn't get what it is that you wanted to get, and there was probably some kind of abuse on some level. So you're gonna forgive this. There's really power in forgiveness. The power there is in forgiveness is that we acknowledge that truth. So it's happened, and we acknowledge it's happened. However, we are not carrying everything that was developed in there that will not serve us. So we forgive the situation. Then I want you to forgive yourself. So create a journaling rhythm where you are really going stage by stage. So you are forgiving the situation, then you're forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for maybe not acknowledging earlier that you were not in a fulfilling relationship, but also it could be forgiving yourself that even this thing happened to you. It doesn't have to be this deep. The idea is that you're releasing. So we're releasing whatever was there that we do not want to carry on. So I want you to focus on those two things and releasing that. And then another thing I would like you to release the idea that you are not worthy of love. You are not worthy of being cared for. You are not worthy of having your needs fulfilled. So we're forgiving ourselves for all of those things. What we are creating here is we're creating a realm where we are acknowledging the truth, the reality, what happened. We're forgiving ourselves into this. We're releasing the energy that is not going to be positive for us. And what we are doing is we're creating action to move forward. So these are the two tips for today. So now I want to move and talk to you a little bit about the Soulful Wellness Box. So the Soulful Wellness Box is coming now as a community as well. In the community, you will have a monthly guest expert who's going to come and is going to do a workshop on a specific subject. Workshop is going to be up in community space where you'll be able to so that wellness community, which at the moment is being created. So it's not fully available, and it's going to be available, I think, in a couple of weeks' time, so that you can register and receive your everything access, and also your Soulful Wellness Box from the 1st of February. So let me see if I can a little bit of time. But basically, Soulful Wellness subscription is now coming with one soulful conversation with myself once a month, a Soulful Wellness box, which comes with 4 curated items, and a guest expert workshop every month. There is also a Facebook group. So the Facebook group is in relation with the guest workshop. So if there is any questions or anything like that, but it's also useful for me to share news, update, not about myself, but about modalities, techniques, advice, guidances, tips on anything that you can use to support yourself. In the Soulful Wellness subscription, what is happening is that I'm using 3 modalities mostly. I'm using human design, I'm using EFT tapping, and I'm also using NLP. So those are the modalities that I'm using. However, the idea is that anything that is purposeful and that can really help you in living your best life, I will upload to the communities for you. Sorry. Okay, so internet is quite slow. Okay. So there we go. All right, so let me show you. I think I've got it now. And then we'll move on to doing a little bit of EFT tapping here, a quick tapping. All right, and here is the welcome page. So you can see here, I talked to you about like how it all started, what is behind the Soulful Wellness space. And then I talked to you about, being selfish or selfful, whichever you prefer. Explain a little bit more about the soulful conversation, the box, the platform, and then I tell you what are the next steps, and here you can register. So it's £125 a month, and every month you get a new box and a new expert session, as well as a new soulful conversation where we dig as much as we can into something that is close to your heart. All right. So here we are back. So the next shipping is going to be on the 1st of February. So if you want to get the February box, you can register as soon as I will get the link, which is coming soon for you. But in the meantime, if you want, you can book a chat with myself and we'll discuss a little bit more about it, or even I can give you a glimpse of what could the soulful wellness conversation be, and how we can support each other, or can I support you and guide you into your best life. Now I'm gonna pop the link. Yeah. So I've just popped the link to book a chat with me. It's a chat of 30 minutes for free. So don't hesitate to do it. So now let's do some tapping. I don't think there'll be any time for Q&A today, but if you have any questions once you've watched or as you are watching, you can leave those questions and I will come back to you with answers at any time. Even if you're watching it on replay, don't hesitate. Okay. Now let's do a little bit of tapping here. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Once more. Another one. And now we're going to start tapping. Even though I carry this feeling of unworthiness, I accept that this is the truth. Even though I am feeling unloved, I recognize this is what is happening right now. Even though I've been carrying this belief for most of my life that I am unworthy, I accept this feeling. Even though life is not easy, even though I have no control over other people's way of loving me, I accept that this is the truth. Now, even though I carry those beliefs, even though I carry this concern, I am also understanding that this can change. This can become better. I can create a new narrative for myself. I can shift this feeling of unworthiness. I can work on my self-love. I can revel in my self-worth. I can accept myself fully. I can love myself fully. I can create healthy boundaries. I can create loving boundaries. Deep breath, shake your body. And this was a rapid tapping share with you all. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for listening. And for any comments you're going to leave or you are leaving, as I can't really see the comments right now, but thank you so much. I hope you will be with me in 2 weeks' time for another live together. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Bye.